special thanks to Slot Lover for letting me be on his channel for a while, giving out some sports and some gambling trips. My official YouTube name is Goku 50. I have some more older videos based on anime reviews, but the last 4 years I've been mostly focusing on gaming, gambling, slot videos, and even sports picks. But so that's what I'd like to talk to you guys about. As a matter of fact, the name of this segment will actually be called Casino Banks. My last name is Banks, so I figured I'm going to call this Casino Banks' sports picks. Now, before I go on, I was talking about this. I've only been sports betting for about 5 years, and been high risking sports betting for about 3 years. And long story short, had a really bad experience with some professional handicappers 3 years ago. I'll make an entire YouTube video about that in a separate entendre. So I made a decision about a year and a half, 2 years ago, to never ever pay another handicapper again. I'm just going to make my picks on my own, and I actually did a lot better that way as well. Before I give you guys any college football picks here for week 1, I did want to mention that I am on a very tight budget, and that's how I prefer to play. Because when I was doing it, $100 away, $100 a game, $200 a game, $500 a game 3, 4 years ago, I got annihilated. I also got ripped off too. Some of these sports handicappers on some of these websites, like John Anthony Sports, Jeff, I think his name is Jeff Allen, Jeff Allen Sports. Stay away from those people. They're evil people. They're also liars. They will double side you. For example, they'll tell you to take Michigan. Let's pretend it's Michigan versus Michigan State. Uh, Jeff will tell you to take Michigan State, and then he'll call the other half of his clients and tell them to take Michigan. I caught him red-handed doing that to me, by the way. I caught him double-siding me. So some of these guys are assholes. So, however, there's a few other handicappers out there, especially on YouTube, who give out free picks for free, and some of them aren't really not that bad. The number one guy I would highly recommend for you guys is a guy by the name of Mitch Wilson. He's at sportschatplace.com, and I will consider this free advertisement for him. I don't know the guy. The guy's emailed me a couple of times, but I'm just going to go ahead and say he is the only sports bet handicapper who's never betrayed me. He's the only one who's upfront and honest. If he misses picks, he will flat out admit to that. He's also dirt cheap. Like, you can get like really good premium picks for like $30, $50 for several days, and he gives you multiple picks. Unlike these other a-holes who charge like $100 just for one pick. So I'm not going to be doing this. So before we go on, for those of you guys who are going to keep track of my NFL picks and college picks, we're not going to go by my record. By what's your win-loss record? Is it 63 to 90? What's your win-loss percentage? There's going to be no win-loss percentages because I do round robins. I do round robins. That is how we're going to be doing this very, very differently. Most of the professional sports players say don't do round robins or parlays. Those are for idiots. Those are for the stupid people. Oh yeah, yeah. Says the people who've, well, quite frankly, bankrupted friends of mine. Anyway, I want to just point this out that, for example, most people would tell you to bet $100 on a single football game, right? Granted, you have a 50-50 shot on it, but can I point something out? That same $100, you could do a 7-leg round robin for $99. You can get 7 games for the price of $110, and you still save $11 for yourself. And if you hit all 7 of those games, you win $1,000 or $1,100. You win your stupid football game cover 7 points. Let's say it's like, let's say it's San Francisco -7. All right, and they went by 8. Okay, yeah, woohoo! You turned $110 into $210 on a 7-leg round robin. If you do all 7, if you do 7 games, 7 teams, and you get all 7, you win at least $1,000 on average. It depends on the spreads, because sometimes the money lines are a little bit different. -110, +110, it varies. So not all round robins are the same. The only time I ever do parlays, or if it's a 2-leg parlay or a 3-leg parlay. Occasionally, I might plop $10 on a 4-leg parlay. But anything 4 legs or more, I always round robin. Now, most of you guys might be going, what's a round robin?
Red Robin. Yum.
A round robin is where you pick multiple picks, multiple games, etc., etc., etc. And Basically, think of it like here's the best way to describe a round robin. It's like there's another casino game called Keno, right? Now, most people well bet like 20 numbers, right? Now that's virtually if you hit all 21 numbers, you win like $250,000 or something like that, right? Most smart Keno players who like ruin a lot of money on Keno, they'll just pick five numbers or six numbers, right? And if you hit five out of the six numbers, you're gonna make profit. You won't win like $1,000, but you win like 100 or 200. And for a dollar bet, that's not bad. If you win four out of six your numbers, you win like $5 or $10. If you hit like two or three numbers, maybe you win your dollar back or something like that. A round robin is kind of like Keno, only for sports. You're trying to hit as many as possible. Obviously, you want to get all ball. Except, unlike Keno, where you're betting on random numbers that are just going to roll in the little ball, and it's totally random. Sports betting sports betting requires research, so you can actually research. You can actually do some studying on this, etc. I love round robins because they're much, much, much cheaper than laying 100, 200, 500, $1,000 on money lines and spreads, to which you have a 50-50 chance. Whereas with round robins, you can bet very little money and actually win a lot. For example, there's one I call a super sixer. That's where I do a six-leg parlay for $42. If you get all six, it's 500. Most casinos, the minimum bet has to be like $2 away, so that's usually be $84. So if you get all six, that's a cool $1,000. Bet $84, and if you're really that good at picking football games or the over and the under, maybe you don't want to pick the game. Maybe you just want to think there's gonna be a lot of touchdowns, or maybe think defense is gonna rule the day, and it's gonna be a very low scoring. Then you want to take the under. You can easily win $1,000 that way. Back to how a round robin works. Anyway, with a round robin, we go by threes, fours, fives, and sixes, and you take your picks. We're taking multiple games, and obviously hitting six is the best case scenario. Best case scenario is that you hit all six. Worst case is obviously zero, but as far as I'm concerned, worst case is actually going three and three. So I can't deceive you guys. If I go three and three on one of my picks, or if I go six and six, that's not. I'm not at 500. That's a loss. That's a big fat loss. 6 and 6 is not even. Uh, Neither is going 7 and 5 or 8 and 4. If I go 8 and 4, I might make a small amount of profit. Um, Best case would be going 12 and 0 or 11 and 1 or 10 and 2. But we'll see. But that's not how we're going to do it. We're going to go by how much money the round robin made. And some round robins are different, like I said. For example, there's a five-leg round robin. Now, if you're doing all favorites, you have to win at least 4 out of 5 of them to make profit. But if you're doing all upsets, or anything with pluses, like run lines or puck lines, or road teams were like plus 180, plus 190, plus 200, and you get 3 out of 5, you actually are going to make a hefty profit on that. Anyway, let's go down. This is, I'll just explain it as we go along. Here it is. Week one of college football, 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 football. By the way, I'm not going to tell you how I am making these bets. For any, if you're going to make care, just let's pretend that I'm just going to go ahead and say that I'm in Nevada, or I have ways. So whether you're doing this in Nevada or through an OS site or a fantasy site or whatever, however you're doing this, check your local listings. Anyway, here's where we're gonna go. And by the way, the spreads that we're choosing might be different where you're at. Either the casino you have might be different, or the OS site might be different. It depends on where you guys are going. But all right, the first big leg, the first super sixer we're gonna do, I call low hanging fruit, or should I say, the lumberjack. I call this the lumberjack because when you're laying a lot of points, they call it laying a lot of lumber. So I'm calling this the lumberjack. Why is that? Because I'm going with big, fat, giant, gargantuan spreads here. Basically, what I'm saying is that we're picking really good teams who are going up against really shitty teams. Now, I've noticed this in September is actually a really good time to bet on college football because week one, usually, with the exception of a few SEC games and ACC games, Week one's mostly practice. They'll pick some. They'll go for shitbag state versus an actually good school, or they'll pick some school in some backwards part of the country no one's ever heard of to again face Alabama. Usually, well, Alabama's I finished them pretty good this year. I call them the sacrificial lamb games. To be honest with you, it's like they're getting the bad teams on purpose so that they can get some good practice. But the good news about these games is that they're very high scoring and it's easy money. It's very easy money. I know these spreads look scary and they sound scary, and they are. I'm not gonna lie, but you'd be surprised how often they hit. I will give you an example of what I mean by this. Baylor, their spread yesterday was like 28 or 35. The score was 55-7. Baylor easily won by 48 points. So if their spread was minus 47, they would have covered. Louisville, I'm still so pissed at myself. I sat out this game. Louisville spread was minus 28. They actually doubled that. I mean, they won by almost 60. They won 70-14. Sorry, it was ridiculous. But Louisville not only covered the spread, they actually scored 28. They covered the spread in the first quarter. I mean, it was ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Now, so here's what I'm going to be doing for you guys. I'm going to be doing what I call low hanging fruit games, lumberjack games, whatever you want to call these. We're laying a lot of lumber, but these should hit. These are pretty easy games. Okay, first up is Ohio State versus Bowling Green. Minus 27 and a half. Ohio State has to win by 4 touchdowns. Bowling Green has not been very good for a long time. Ohio State's ranked number freaking 6. That is high as heck, and I think we're getting a little bit of a bargain. I'd be more comfortable if it was if they were favored by 3 touchdowns, but I will go ahead and say that they're going to win by 4. So we'll go ahead and say it's at Ohio State. It is in home field territory, so yeah, this should be a blowout for Ohio State. Next one, I'm going to call this my bias pick. I'm going to call this my Fox News MSNBC pick. We are going to take Boise State. Ooh, the spread went down a little. That's good. It was 21. It went down to 19 and a half. Good, good, good. That makes it easy. Well, hopefully not good. A player didn't get injured. So then we got Boise State minus 19 and a half versus Louisiana or Lafayette, the Raging Cajuns. Yeah, we faced them a couple times before, and they were destroyed, just destroyed. But I mean, Boise State has beaten this team like a pulp before, easily by double digits. This is gonna be another blowout. Another game that I like. Okay, next one. Damn it, another 4 touchdown one. Don't want to do it, but this one's just screaming. Iowa had a really good year last year. They almost made the playoffs. Some people say they didn't deserve the playoffs, especially the way they played in their bowl game. But nevertheless, Iowa is getting some really huge luggage here with minus 27 and a half. Let me see here. Versus Miami of Ohio. Not Miami, not the Miami from Florida. Miami of Ohio. Uh, yeah, this is a. Yeah, you gotta be kidding me. Iowa is ranked again. They're back in the rankings. It's a bird. Sorry, I also do a little bit of superstition. Yeah, the Hawkeyes might. Yeah, they might get a shot. Their schedule looks pretty easy this year, except for the second part of the season. Then there's a regular Ohio, not Ohio State, but Ohio, the Bobcats, versus Texas State. I know for a fact that Texas State is. So I don't care. That's 3 touchdowns. I know Ohio's hardly a powerhouse football team, but they've actually come to my town playing bowl games. Ohio, regular University of Ohio, actually has a really decent record. They're not that bad of a football team. They really aren't. They have a really good, decent program. They've been on the up and up for the last 10 years. Texas State, gosh, I mean, they just suck at yuck. Ugh. I'm gonna, yeah. We might go with the Bobcats here. All right. Okay, next up is Scarlet Moon's pick. This I hate this spread. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But I gotta listen to what Scarlet Moon says. So this is gonna be my. I really should just take the damn over. The over is only 50. But oh gosh, wow, that's a tough corner to be in. All right, and that's the University of Florida. Scarlet Moon loves the Gators. He said, "Go Gators." He said this would be a good team for us. You know what? As much as I want to take overs and unders, because that's usually the safer thing to take, I'm going to go ahead and grow a pair, and I'm actually going to go with all football teams. All right, my next game, speaking of Boise State, will be for Boise State's old coach. Coach Peterson will be coaching against Rutgers. Okay, here's why I'm taking another spread. The spread's weird, but again, it's just 4 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns and a couple of field goals. It's minus 26 and a half. Now, Rutgers, here's the dealio with this game. Here's why I'm going heavy on Washington. Washington's getting desperate for a big win. They really have got to put the pedal to the metal here. So here's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Washington University. I'm going to go with the Huskies, and I'll tell you why. Because Rutgers is flying in from New Jersey. They're flying all the way from frickin' New Jersey. And you gotta be kidding me. This is definitely a case of you gotta be kidding me. The They're gonna have jet lag. They're gonna wake up. They're gonna be tired. Oh, that game's way early. That's at 11 in the morning. Yeah, so Rutgers, they're going to be tired. They're going to be exhausted. All right, so here we go. Six leg parlay, just threes, fours, fives, and sixes. Do not do twos. Don't waste your money. Twos aren't going to pay that very much. Okay, total risk $42. Potential win $501.94. So if we make it, we will win $543.94. If we get all six, if we get five, we're going to get at least 100, or possibly 200. If we get four, maybe break even, maybe make a small profit or something like that. 3 and 3 is death for me. 3 and 3 or worse means it's a loss. So, all right, that is my lumber. All right, next one is what I call the miracle money line. We're gonna call this my miracle money line, money line, money line, money line. All I need is a miracle. All I need is you. I'm just doing this just to show you guys. Now I'm just gonna, before I go any further, I want to point this out. Okay, we're gonna have more We may have more losses on this than wins, but you might be surprised. Okay, what am I talking about? I am saying that we're gonna pick upsets, all upsets, and or baseball run lines, puck lines, or spreads where the pay is positive, not negative. All right, so my first pick, my first upset, there could easily, with given all these football games, there's easily could be 6 upsets tomorrow. Let's just hope we pick the six. All right, Western Michigan versus Northwestern. I'm gonna call this one my A Little Bird Told Me. There's a fellow guy on YouTube. I'll just send you a link to the videos. He made a really good case against from Western Michigan. Western Michigan is not that bad. Northwestern has lost a lot of their players. They graduated, they went to the NFL, or they moved on to life. Western Michigan kept most of their roster from last season, and it's only a 4 point game. Now, if you want to play it safe, the smart person would tell you to just bet the +4. The problem is that pays -110. We don't want that. We want money. We want to get paid. We want the money. So my first upset pick is I'm going to say that the Western Michigan Broncos are going to shock the Wildcats of Northwestern. It's not that big of an upset. It's only +170. I say take it. Next up, next upset, and I've actually had my eye on this for a while. Okay. We're gonna go with ballsy upsets. Okay, for the record, before I go any further, don't expect us to go 6 and 6. If we go 5 and 6, we'll be happy campers. You'd be surprised how much money you can make. I am just saying that you have to. I am saying you have to expect the unexpected, because if you go and play it too safe or you go with the favorites all the time, you're going to get your ass kicked, and you'll be shocked how many times upsets happen, especially in college football. So I'm going to go with another upset, a big ass upset, but to be perfectly honest, I might call this my pussy pick because I'd much rather take the spread. It's more realistic. But there is Houston, University of Houston. Let me tell you why this has upset written all over it. It is being played at the Houston Texans Stadium, the NRG Stadium. That's where we're going to be holding the Super Bowl, hosting the Super Bowl later this year. I know Oklahoma was a big team. They made it to the Final Four last year and blah, 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 blah. And I think that's what Vegas wants you to expect. That's what Vegas wants you to think. They want you to think Oklahoma's all that in a bag of chips. So, excuse me, Houston has also been full of surprises over the past couple of years. You remember Houston? Didn't they go undefeated or almost went undefeated that one season? Houston's been building up their program. They're not a joke anymore. And the fact that this is being played in Houston, we got freaking home field advantage. The spreads itself are not that bad. This most people you would think, but this, I'm sorry, this has upset written freaking right all over it. I think this is a trap. Next upset that I think is a trap game is LSU versus Wisconsin. Again, the game is being played in Wisconsin at the Green Bay Stadium. LSU is coming all the way up from the south up to Wisconsin. Again, I think this has trap written all over it. I am actually going to go with Wisconsin for the upset. Okay, next. So I got one, two, three. I got three upsets so far. Okay, again, this is more like wishful thinking. This is more wishful thinking than it is actually realism. USC versus Alabama. This is the game everybody's been talking about since the beginning of the season. I don't know if it's actually going to happen or not. Like I said, this is way too much of wishful thinking, and this would make a lot of people happy if USC pulled out the outright upset. So I'm gonna say F it. It's in a neutral site. This is not in Alabama. It's gonna be at AT&T Stadium. Something crazy may happen. You know what? We're gonna go with that. I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna go cray cray. I like Clemson. I love Clemson, but we're just for fun. We're going to take Auburn, and I'm also going to take Arizona for fun. I'm just doing this round robin. I just want to see how much it's going to pay. All right, let me go over what I just picked. I got Western Michigan to upset Northwestern straight up, Houston to upset Oklahoma straight up, Wisconsin to upset LSU straight up, USC to upset Alabama straight up, Auburn to upset Clemson straight up, and Arizona to upset BYU straight up. These are the Miracle Moneyline upsets. What do we get if they hit? $10,000. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with that. All right, so we're gonna go with the Queen Mother of upsets. Here we go: Western Michigan upset, Houston upset, Wisconsin upset, USC upset, Auburn upset, Arizona upset. I'm not saying all these are gonna hit, but if all of them do hit, yeah, we're looking at winning $10,739.40. Yeah. I think that I think I think that might be worth the investment. So actually, okay, yeah, I am gonna go buy this ticket. Shit, I need to go get some money from the ATM machine first. And all right, so this is Casino Banks. This is week one of college football. Again, those are my picks. Going with a six-leg round robin, twos, threes, fours, fives, sixes, and for $57. If this hits, if tomorrow there's nothing but upsets, if there's a huge upset, I am not saying it's going to happen. This is more like Miracle Money on Wishful Thinking. Okay, if all six hit, we are in good shape. If not, well then, whatever. Anyway, this is call me Casino Banks for this one. My name's Aaron. I also have a YouTube channel where I discuss anime. I also post slot videos. It's been a long time since I've talked to anime, so it might be a while before we get on that again. But I'm still into it. I just haven't talked about it in a long time, along with pop culture and stuff. And I may bring back Volcano Me. Anyway, thank you so much for slot videos for uploading this for me. Obviously, got to chip it down for time with my rambling on. Uh, and we'll see how I do on week one. Again, it's entertainment purposes only. Try not to overload. Again, I'm not a professional handicapper, but I want to see if I can actually beat those stupid experts because they were wrong in the past. Okay, bye bye.